Hello everyone out in RTI land. I want to talk to you today about universal screening and the preparation that needs to occur before you get started. Number one, you're going to need to train your teachers, and in order to do that, you're going to have something set up so that you can talk to them about it. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the prep that you need to do before you screen students, such as accommodations. And then we're going to talk about assigning product. So those are our three main objectives. Number one, we want to make sure that you know how to get to the documents so that you can refer back to it. Everything again is always put into our Live Binder for RTI. So if you'll go into Live Binder, once you get here you go, okay, I can't find anything. Easiest way is to always go to the hamburger, the three lines here, click on the hamburger and type in Renaissance, and you see that the list comes up immediately. Well, I know that it's going to be this one right here because it has login information, create a group, cut scores and such. So that's where I'm going to go. Even though there are other places I can go, these are not what I want. So I know Renaissance Star 360 right here. And it takes me to the tab that has all the information in it in order to get to my resources. So the first thing we need to look at is how to log in. This is something that you can print off for your teachers so that they'll have it. You need to have a copy of it always on your desk so that you can refer to it if you need to. This is the hosted site that we in Aldine use. If you don't use this, you will not be able to get to the site that we use. This is how our teachers and adults log in. This is how students from pre-K through 4 log in, and this is how students 5 through 12 log in. So if you want to take that information and post it somewhere in your room, make a nice little poster out of it so they can refer to it as needed. On the back of that, when you print it off, the ones that I have printed off for you, on the back of them, you have a contact. This is superior service. Out of all the companies I've ever dealt with, Renaissance is the best about customer service. So if you have any questions, small, medium, or large, just pick up the phone and call them, and they will answer your question. Now, there is also a support that you can go to on the site itself. So when you have Renaissance and you want to contact them, you'll click here, and it comes up as a little chat. Now, if you go ahead and fill this out, your chat back and forth, once you get finished, it will be emailed to you. So you have a hard copy of the support that you're looking for so that you don't have to write notes. This is a great place if it's not a really quick question. If it's something you want to know how to do something specifically, this is a great place to do it. So once you fill that in, you start the chat and you go back and forth, and then you get an email of those steps that they give you. All right. So going back to this is how we log in and your support. The next thing is I want to make sure you know how to print passwords. So here's the step-by-step instructions. And when I go to the site, I am going to go to users, and before we go here, I want to make sure that you know that this is the land of the no-no. Please, please, please make sure you know what you're doing when you're in this area. Things can be goofed up really quickly if you are doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So please make sure you have the instructions, that you know what you're doing and you understand what you're doing before you go in here. So first of all, we said we were going to learn how to print student login and passwords. So if I go to users, the only place I'm normally going to go is view students and clear lock students. So we're going to first of all do the print, understand how to print our logins. So we clicked on view students, and I'm going to pick on Carroll Academy. And now I can pick any grade level. Let's say that I want 4th graders. If I wanted a specific student, I could type it in, but normally at the beginning of testing, you can click on 4th grade. If you wanted to break it down by a class, you could do so here. But normally I would just do 4th grade, search, and then there's 2 tabs. You have a class enrollment. So here you can see the classes that these students are enrolled in. If you ever want to check, this baby right here only has math. This baby right here only has math and handwriting. So this all comes from the front office. There is nothing that myself, the district puts in. It is uploaded on a nightly basis from eSchool. And if it's not loaded from the front office correctly, it's going to show up right here to show you that this baby doesn't have a full schedule. And if they don't have a full schedule, then they will not be assigned a test. So that's one of the first things you need to check to make sure that all students have schedules. There's another baby that doesn't have a schedule. So that's real important, because if the day of testing this baby comes in, you're going to go, oh my gosh, why can this student not test? Well, number one, they don't have a schedule. So the program doesn't know to give them a test. So that's number one. You want to look at the schedules to make sure that they're all there. And if they're not, then you need to go and talk to your registrar about these schedules and why these students don't have one in at this moment. Do this before, because if you can get it set up now and get it fixed now, then it will roll over tonight and then it'll be there tomorrow. Next are the passwords. So the second tab here are passwords. Now you can view the PDF and print it off. I'm going to go back, view students. And it will be there. That's pretty much it. You want to see a specific grade level. You could do it by class. I'm going to pick a 4th grade Lopez and search. And there's all her students. Now, it's only going to show this one class because that's the class I chose. So, and that's fine. When I want to do the passwords, I'm going to print it off for that teacher here. So the teachers can go in and print their own, which is easily done, or you can go in and print it ahead of time. That's up to you. Now, if you have Snagit, you can convert the PDF to a Word document and make cards out of them. But that's only if you have Snagit or some type of Snagit program that will convert your not Snagit, excuse me, Adobe. If you have Adobe, it will convert your PDFs into a Word document or an Excel document. So if you have Adobe, it's like a really expensive version of it. Maybe someone on your campus, like your testing coordinator, may have it. It would be good to go in there and convert those files, these files, into something that you can manipulate and make it into cards for your kids. But if you can't and you don't, printing this off for teacher works just fine. So you have their username and their password. Alrighty, I'm going to close this. And I just messed up. I should have left that open. Okay, move that out of the way. So that's how to print logins and passwords. Next, we want to look at clearing locked students. We're going to go in the same place where it was users. This is one that you're going to really need to know how to get to and have it open on your computer in the lab that you're in. You'll click users. Under students, you're going to see clear locked students. If there are any students that tried to take a test and they tried to log in 3 or 4 times, it's going to show up here in a list. There's nothing here right now because no students were trying to take the test. But if there were, it's a list, and all you have to do is click a little button that says Clear Lock Students. Simple, easy peasy. So that's that. And there are the instructions here for that. Now, how to print students who have not tested. I can't show you that specifically, but this is something that you need to know how to do right here. You're going to go into one of the 3 tests, reading, early literacy, or math. You're going to click the Screening Progress Monitoring Intervention icon. And once you do that, it's going to show you the kids that have tested. You can see 81%. You can see that 220 versus 273 possible. So you're about 53 kids short. Same here. You can see how many should be and how many you have to go. So right there. Now if you want to see specifically, you click on the preview button. Or, let's see, oh, and it shows you here. Now, I'm looking at grade 1 specifically. If I click different grades, it's going to show me different numbers of kids. If you click on that one little icon right there, it says not tested, it will tell you that there are 239 students in first grade that have not tested. And you can see all these zeros of students that have. So none of this first grade have been tested. So that's a quick way to see. Now if you click on that and run the report, it's going to give you the list of kids that applies to. Now surely you don't want to run 239 students. You want to wait till all of this fills up, because you can see constantly how many have leveled out into these areas and then how many have not tested. So those are quick ways to look at those students that have not tested. You can see the progress of them. And as soon as kids are tested, you can pull up data. So when teachers say, I want to see it, teach them how to get to the data. They need to be able to do it. Next is assigning product. This is the big kahuna here. We go back into the no-no land, and we want to make sure that you understand how to do this specifically. So up here I've explained that these are called breadcrumbs, so you never want to use this back button here. We want to keep in the breadcrumb area. Instead of me going back here, I want to click on breadcrumb home. So that takes me home, and I'm going to go in courses and classes. Now in courses and classes, it comes up immediately. You can see all the courses here. You can see that how many classes are completed and how many are incomplete. Now, because nothing has been done to this campus, they should all be in the incomplete area. One thing I want to point out is this one has 0 in both. That means that there are no classes assigned. They may have a class on the roster, but there are no teachers assigned to this class, no students are assigned to this class. So that's why it's 0, 0. So you won't really have to mess with any of those that have those double zeros, because there's nothing there. Now I'm going to pick, let's start with a elementary. Pick on Bussey. And I see that Bussey has all these classes here. Let's look a little bit first here. That second grade has 0 classes. Now this tells me that there might be something going on with our product talking to Bussey, or it hasn't uploaded lately, or something is amiss, because all of this should say not applicable, all this should say none. But there should be something else going on here. I'm not sure if that's, I'm pretty sure that's coming from the campus, that they haven't assigned any course IDs to this, so that's why it looks like that. This one doesn't even have a grade. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Bussey went in and added these, and they shouldn't have. We need to talk about this, because that shouldn't be there. This should be not applicable, and this should be none. Okay, Bussey, you're on watch. I need to talk to you and see if you added these 2 classes. Guys, do not add classes to these. This is why I'm very specific about what you do and what you can't do in this area. This is, again, the no-no area. The only thing I need you doing in this is assigning product. That's it. This doesn't look right. Something's up with this. I need to find out if the RTI teachers might have tried to add something, or if it's a mess up in the schedule. So we need to check into this. But again, the only thing we're doing in this area is looking and clicking on this button here, Assign Product. Nothing else. Edit course, all this stuff, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Assigning product is all we're doing in here. Okay, so going back over here to this tells me that there are 6 bilingual reading classes of 1st grade. There are 8 bilingual reading classes of 2nd grade. There are 8 bilingual reading classes of 3rd grade. There are 5 bilingual reading classes of 4th grade. There are 6 bilingual reading classes of kinder. And that should be it, because that takes care of kinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what I should see. So that's why I'm saying that this doesn't look right. These 2 right here should not be here. So we'll need to talk. Okay, handwriting is just in there because that's what it is, part of the English ELA. We will not bother any of these assigned products. So leave handwriting alone. We're only looking at reading, and we're looking at math. So again, math, I have 8 classes of 1st grade, 11 classes of 2nd grade, 11 classes of 3rd, 10 of 4th, and 8 of kinder. So that's kinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cool. Now it goes into accelerated math, your special classes of math, and then it drops down again to reading, does the same thing. Yeah, I need to talk to y'all. This should not be here. I don't know how y'all added that, but we don't need to do that. I need to fix that. That's why I'm saying this is the no blue land. The only thing you're doing here is assigning product. Y'all are in trouble, Bussy. Not really. We just got to fix it. Guys, y'all have got to follow directions specifically. Everybody, please, please, please. It will mess things up if you go in here and do anything else other than assign products. Okay. So, bilingual reading 1st grade has 6 classes. I can see those 6 classes are here in the incomplete. I needed to assign the bilingual classes products. So I click on Assign Products. I click on Star, Spanish, and Reading. This is regular Star, and this is Spanish. Now, Star 360 means that it is including reading and math. But to include the Spanish, we have to click them in. And this is a bilingual classes, so I'm clicking on both. If this is not a bilingual class, as we will show in a minute, we will not click on the Spanish. Then I can easily click that one, and it clicks all of them, so I don't have to click all of them. And I can do that here as well. So if I didn't need both, I could just click one, or I could click both, and it clicks both of them in. So once I get those done, and I can see that there's nothing here, I can assign it. And then voila, they show up right here. Star and Spanish, Star and Spanish, Star and Spanish. Okay? If by any weird chance one of these teachers, let's say Solis, did not need Spanish, all you have to do is go in and click Unassigned Product. And then that class won't have Spanish. But then you go, oh yeah, they were Spanish, so let me click them in and assign. Again, that's all you have to do to that. We're not doing anything else in here. So then I'm going to click the breadcrumbs. I'm going to go back 1 to courses and classes. Oops, I forgot something. Looky here, it did not show up. Yes, it did. I did save it. I forgot to click save. But it took care of it when I clicked assign. Okay, done. Just make sure you click assign, and then that the number moves over to this complete area. So I'm going to do the next. I'm going to do a reading or a math. Let's do a math. So here's 8 math classes. They're in the unassigned. I'm going to click product. And they were just a regular class, so they're Star 360, all of them assigned. Done. So when when you say a student can't test, that you're having a problem with a student is not showing up a test, you're going to come in here and to see that this number is over in this column. There should be zeros here and number here. But if I come down and go, oh, this math class, oh, all these numbers are over in the wrong column, I've got to assign the product. What happens when classes change and schedules are changed in the master schedule on your campus, it kicks kids out and you have to go and put them back in. So it could be that 10 classes are over here and 1 is here. So when you see that, all you have to do is go in and assign product, the normal thing, click, click, assign, and done. So that's all we're doing, is assigning product, and we're only going to assign it to math, our bilingual for Spanish, and reading down here. That's it. Nothing else. No edit coursing, delete coursing, adding a class. We're not doing those. That's why it has those little caution signs out beside those, because you're not supposed to be touching them. The only one that doesn't have a caution is assigning product. Alright. So I'm going to take my breadcrumb and go home. Please call me if you have questions. This is a big job. I can't do all of them. I tried the first year and it just took me days to do it. So this is why I need you to go into courses and classes and assign products. Alright. So that's assigned product. If you are middle school, high school, this is how you would assign the algebra and geometry assessment. You'll go into the math area. We're going to talk about preferences in a minute, and I'll show you how to do that. We're not going to create groups or do any of these other things other than this pre-test instructions. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. Pre-test instructions are here for all. What these are something that you can email to your teachers or print them. That's up to you. But I would email it to them because this gives the teacher instructions for kids. So this is the teacher instruction part. Just like we do with STAR, we give them word for word what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to do. That's for the teacher. And then this is for the student. So they can project that on the board for the students to follow, so that they are given specific directions by the teacher on what to expect, what to do, how to manipulate the test as they go through it. Now, those pre-test instructions are for STAR Reading, Enterprise, Pre-test Spanish, Pre-test Math, and STAR Early Literacy. So all of those are there for the teachers. This is something that you can give them for their instructions. Now, tips are for you. Let's go into the reading tips first. This is where we're going to get our instructions for the things that we haven't discussed yet, mainly preferences. So, going into preferences. To get to preferences, you're going to have to go to all 3 of these and get these set up for reading, early literacy, and math. So reading, go to preferences. You're not going to have the district one. The school preferences, the Lexile measures, all that is saying that you're going to see the Lexile score on reports. And we already have them clicked in, so you really don't have to mess with that. How do I get back? I go home. On this one, you can either click this back button or you can go home, one or the other. I'm going to click back. The next class preference is password requirement. Now, this is called a monitor password. You're more than welcome to take these off. At the beginning of universal screening, I take them off on all campuses. I can go in and click with one button to take it off. Oh, we don't have any classes set. So I go in and take them off. Now, if you want a monitor password, what that is to say that, well, why is there not coming up? There we go. That you want these kids to have to ask you what the password is. It is a pain. You don't want it. Not unless you just have a little baby that is so hyper that he just goes in and starts, doing things. If you want that for that one child, you can go in and click them in. But other than that, you're not going to bother with the monitor password, because I will go in and turn it off. Again, if you want it for specific children, you're more than welcome to go in and turn it back on. The password that we have currently that is set is admin, ADMIN. So we've done the password, monitor password. Again, that's ADMIN. If ever it is set and it needs to be used, it is ADMIN. You just type it in and the student can then take the test. But again, I will turn that off once we get to universal testing. Okay, enterprise test, we're not bothering that. That is for me to take care of. Student preferences, this is where you will now start working on. Extended question time limit. If it gets to it, we still don't have. No students. Let's find somebody that has students. So, extended question. I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to say no student gets extended time. It's that simple. But this baby does. Apply. So then I get to check him here. And then I save changes. So let me do that again. Go back. So in a specific class, I find the class that I need. Which one did I pick? I think I picked black. And currently I can pull all of these up because I put a check beside all of them. Now I can see all of them and decide which one gets extended time. Now normal is 60 seconds to answer, which is a minute. They get 1 minute. If you want extended time, it doubles the time. So they'll get 2 minutes. Now once 2 minutes is up, it moves them on. And if they're taking the test, a little clock will show up here saying, okay, you've got 20 seconds, you've got 15 seconds to answer. When they see that clock, they need to pick something. And that's something that you train teachers to tell the students, that those clocks are something to tell you, okay, make a choice or we're going to move on. If it moves on without an answer, it will count it incorrect. So they need to make a choice and move on. So these students need extended time. You save the changes. I'm not going to, so I'm going to take these off. Okay, and then I'm going to move back. It's that simple on extended time. The next one that we have for student preferences is estimated instructional reading level. All that is for your SLC babies or your really, really low students for this first universal screening. You won't have to do it for any others. Once they take the test, then it pretty much sets it for you. But this first universal screening, the computer doesn't know that it's an SLC baby that is a 6th grader but functioning on a 1st grade level. So you could go in here and set this for them and set their instructional level so that they know So the computer knows to start them at a first grade level instead of starting them at a sixth grade level. And it is a number only. So that's that. Those are the only two accommodations or modifications that we do for reading. Okay? So let me go back. And let's look at math preferences. Again, we're not bothering any of this. We're only going down here to the student preferences. So again, it's extended time, just like we did with the reading. It's instructional level for math, the same thing like the reading level, except it's for math level. So if a baby is a sixth grader functioning at a first grade, you go in and set their instructional level there for them. And then there's audio. Now, math is audio because it's not a reading test. A reading test doesn't do audio because it's a reading test. Therefore, the only one that does audio is the math. And you can go in and set that for those kids that need it read to them. Okay, and then the last one is early literacy preferences. Again, we're going to go straight down to student preferences, and that's extended question time. So if you need the babies that need more time on early literacy, that's the only preference that we can change in that. And I didn't mean to close that. Okay, so those, I think, let me take that out. I think that's it. Let me double check on the tips. So if you look at tips, we've got monitor password, setting extended time, printing a list of the names and passwords, pre-test instructions, logging students in, testing students. Okay, stopping a test. We haven't talked about that. Let me see if I can find it on here. Stopping a test. So, stopping a test, in the upper right hand corner of the screen there'll be an icon that you can click on for stopping it, and it will give you a chance to resume it or stop it completely. Now, if you want to resume it, it's like a kid going to the restroom and they're coming back. So you would want to click that pause button to pause it until they come back. Now, if they're going to the nurse because they're sick, I would go ahead and stop the test. And then when they come back in a day or two, it will pick up where they left off. Resuming an unfinished test. This is what it looks like. You have a test to finish. Please enter the monitor password. Now, it might ask that. I'm not sure. I've never done a resume test on the second day, or they left, they got sick, they came back the next day to take it. But the monitor password would be ADMIN. And then here's all the types of reports. So on those tip sheets, here, reading, math, and early literacy. These are really good to make sure you have gone through the checklist of everything, to make sure you've set all the preferences, that all the teachers know what they're supposed to do, that you're set with kids being instructed. So that's what the tip sheets are for. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. The biggest thing I want to make sure that you understand is that this light blue area is very important, that you know what you're doing and that you're only doing what you know to do. Again, it is view students for passwords and clear lock students. Everything else, leave it alone. If you have a question, please call me. Then we go back home to courses and classes, and we are assigning product only, the one that does not have the caution sign. Please do not edit courses, delete courses, or add classes. And that is pretty much it. If you have questions again, call me and ask me, and I will be happy to help. Have a great day.